Hey folks, welcome to Transplant Helper. Today, my name is Jim Burrell, and it's time again for yet another edition of Friday's Fighter, the part of the program where I allow you, as the viewer, to tell your stories in your own words. And I'm very excited about today's guest I have here on the screen behind me. Her name is Meghan Stapleton. She happens to be a good friend of mine via Facebook as well as other social media places and a viewer of the program. But Meghan has a wonderful story of fighting as well as survival that she's going to be telling us about today. Now, Meghan is a huge advocate for organ donation as well as for raising awareness to the SCAD heart attack. She's going to tell us exactly what that is in just a moment. But I just want you to stick around and hear her story and her own words. And by the way, at the end of the program, if you'd like to be a part of this program in the future, I'll give you some details as to how you can go about doing that. But without any further ado, let's turn it over to Meghan.
Hey everybody, my name is Meghan Stapleton, and Jim asked me to turn in a video and tell a little bit about my story. I am a heart transplant patient, and I'm about to come up on my first year anniversary of my rebirth, if you will. It all started actually about a year ago, a little less than a year ago. I was a perfectly healthy 37-year-old, worked out a few times a week, didn't have any health problems, didn't have any heart problems, and I had 2 SCAD heart attacks. If you haven't heard of SCAD, it's sudden coronary artery dissection, and it is most common in women under the age of 50, or it's the most common type of heart attack for women under age of 50. And the thing about SCAD is there's no risk factors, there's no warnings. It's just sort of out of the blue. And my first one actually happened to be on a plane over the Arctic Ocean coming back from Australia. Nobody believed me that I was having a heart attack. They all thought it was anxiety. My EKGs and things were coming out normal. And it took a lot of testing for them to realize that my heart was damaged in some capacity. So I was hospitalized, and the next day, which happened to be my anniversary, I went into an angiogram and went into sudden cardiac arrest. They had to do CPR, shock me several times, and I'm just truly blessed that I even made it out of that cath lab on that day. Since then, they did several procedures to try to help my heart grow and heal, and those just didn't work out, and there was too much damage done to my heart. So I stayed in the hospital, was placed on the heart transplant list, or LVAD, and luckily I got a heart transplant on July 25th. It's been a rough road. I think I have as much emotional issues as I do physical issues regarding what happened. I went from perfectly healthy, living life, loving life, to suddenly having lots of limitations. So it's a little bit different than trading in one disease for another disease. But I'm happy to be alive and working through my side effects. And every day I push myself a little bit harder, a little bit farther, and it's becoming a little bit easier. And I am just so grateful to be able to share my story and advocate and to help other women, understand in their body and let them know that it's okay to advocate for yourself. I truly, truly believe if I did not push the ER doctors, that I would not be here today, that my heart would eventually have gone out due to damage from my SCAD heart attack. So that's a little bit about my story. And I appreciate you listening. And for everybody that has helped me through this over in the support groups, I appreciate it. You might have seen my name before, and it's a strong community, and I could not have done this without you. And to Jim, the Transplant Helper, I found his videos in the hospital, and I've been watching them ever since, and they've been a huge help. So thanks, everybody, and I hope you guys have a good week.
Wow. Wasn't that great? I'm certainly impressed by Meghan's story. It is absolutely a story of survival, one that I love to hear. As a matter of fact, to tell you the truth, I actually reached out to Meghan via Facebook after reading her story and asked her to bring that story to us. So thank you so much for doing that, Meghan. You stay stronger, girl. Now, as I mentioned a moment ago, if you'd like to be a part of this program in the future, if you will, just go on over to Facebook Messenger. If you have that, hit me up in a private message, Jim Merle. Write me a private message. Tell me a little bit about your story. Kind of give me a baseline to go off of. And then I'll turn around and send you instructions as to how you can be a part of this program in the future. But until those programs occur, let me say to all of you, especially you, Meghan, thanks again. But all of you, please stay stronger, friends.